Welcome to Cowgirl Up, the podcast dedicated to elevating your mindset. I'm your host, Lori Blickenstaff, certified mental performance coach at mentalgame101.com. Today we're going to discuss the elephant in the room. What if I say my affirmation, but in the back of my mind I'm hearing, "That's not true. Who are you kidding?" Sometimes the gap between where you are and where the power statement says you are might be too big, and it can actually make you feel worse. There are a couple of different ways to get around this. The first is to make sure that your affirmations are realistic and believable. For example, if you just started in your sport, choosing "I am a world champion" is probably not going to be very helpful. Instead, you could choose something in your present world, like "Every day, in every way, I am getting better," or "I focus on the process." So in the same way, if "I am confident" doesn't feel true yet, you can use one like "I take confident action," or "I use big body language." Now, if you're still having trouble believing it, there is another option. Try using a thought framed in the second person. So instead of saying "I am strong," you could say "You are strong." You can even put your name in front of it, like "Lori, you are strong." Let's say you have a big event coming up and you're feeling a little anxious about it. Imagine for a second looking into the mirror and telling yourself, "I can do this." Now imagine you're talking with someone who is really supportive and is a good friend, and they say, "Hey, you can do this." Which one do you believe more strongly? Sometimes it's just easier to believe someone we trust other than ourselves, especially if it relates to a new skill or idea, or maybe it's a time when you're just not feeling your best. In those situations, imagining what a supportive friend would say to you right now can be more effective. Remember Tom Brady's example? He used the second person. His statements were, "You love the big moments." Doesn't it kind of sound like he's challenging himself? You don't need luck. You are bleepity bleep Tom Brady. You love the big moments. Yeah, it's kind of like a pep talk. So that's another way "you" statements can be effective. And then last, these third-person statements also work well when you're feeling anxious because you hear it coming from an outside perspective, which kind of shifts the focus away from you, your ego, and just adds some distance, which your brain might take as wisdom, confidence, calm, coming from the outside. Tomorrow, I'm going to share a couple of tips on how you can multiply 10x the benefit of your power statements, so be sure not to miss it. And finally, remember to say, "I think like a winner, therefore I am a winner." Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you have any questions, feedback, or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Email me at lori@mentalgame101.com.